Hello everyone, I'm Jose Betancourt, and as always thank you for viewing my videos. So today I'm recording on my Nikon D7100. I'm using a 35mm lens. I usually record with my Lumix G7. I record in 4K for most of the time, but as I was recording my last video, I ran out of batteries. So I apologize. So the camera you see here is my brand new Olympus, OMD EM10 Mark II. It's a lot to say, especially when you're still about maybe 95% from recovering bad freaking, excuse me for the language. I had not pneumonia, but I had bronchitis. And I work in elevators, so I had to keep going to work. But I'm not going to bore you with the details. But anyway, on the left hand side, you have a 14 to 42 millimeter kit lens. It's actually pretty good. It's not a bad lens at all. Even the Panasonic 14 to 42 kit lens I got with my Lumix G7 is pretty good. And I do most of my videos with that. But here I have a Panasonic Lumix G. It's a G25 with an aperture of 1.7. So it's a prime lens, really sharp, and together with the OM10 Mark II, you have a very compact, not as compact as the kit lens, because as you will see here when I unlock it, it goes out and you get that longer body. With the prime lens, you maintain a nice small profile. So as I stated, I'm recording with my Nikon D7100. I apologize about that. It's not usually the setup I record with, and me being me, I ran out of battery. So the lighting might be not up to par as always. And I just wanted to show off my EM10 Mark II because having a third camera body really is overkill. I will admit that. And I'm really getting into Micro Four Thirds. And having the Nikon D7100 as my main, basically when I want to have more megapixels, more megapixels, just have something more capable of providing more oomph as far as image quality. But I am pretty impressed with what I'm getting with the with my Mark II, with my EM10 Mark II. Here are some sample shots. This might not even. I can zoom in. Here's my son doing homework. I took this today with the kit, not the kit lens, excuse me, with the 25mm lens. Now the beautiful thing about Panasonic and Olympus is that you can use their lenses. They're interchangeable. And that is because you have a Micro Four Thirds camera frame, and you have the capability of just switching their lenses around. That is why I'm using a Panasonic lens. Now, the other good thing about Micro Four Thirds mirrorless cameras is that you can use adapters. And now I have the capability of using my Nikon lenses, and I can also use it on my Lumix G7. But here's another reason why I got the Olympus EM10 Mark II is because of the in-body stability. And let me tell you something. I don't know if you can see it here. Let me go back. Let's see if I have the movie here. Now I took a movie. I recorded video. Now before I even go any further with the video. When it comes to video quality, the Lumix G7 blows this EM10 Mark II out of the water. But when it comes to image stabilization, you cannot beat the EM10 Mark II. You just can't. So I'm going to play this video. Let's see if I can play it. And play movie. This is me walking. Now you're not really going to see it all that well because the lighting is poor and you hear me breathing like a freaking ox. But that is me walking at a fast pace, and you can see how stable the video looks. Now I made a mistake and recorded in monochrome, so you're not going to see any color, just in case you were wondering. But that's an example of the image stabilization. Now I took these a little earlier. Here's some color. You're really not going to see any sharpness because I don't even know how well my 35mm lens have manual focus because it was searching a lot. So I didn't want the audio. I'm using a boom mic, but I didn't want the audio to be interrupted by my lens trying to find a good focus point. So this whole video could be a total fail for all I know. But I just wanted to show off a few photos that I took a little earlier. This is essentially my walk around camera. The body is solid as hell. It's made out of metal. It is small. It's smaller than my Lumix G7, and yet it has more heft than my Lumix G7. The Lumix G7 is all plastic. Not that there's anything wrong with that because it gives it an extremely light body to walk around with. And let me see. I'm just scrolling through some images that I took today. And this is my walk around camera. My street photography camera, if you want to call it that. And while I want a Fuji X20 or an X10 or maybe even a Fuji 100T or an F, there's a lot of different names, especially the 100T and the 100F. They have that profile that looks like an old school camera, and that's just me taking photos of my iPad home screen. So I was trying different functions, utilizing different functions for all of these buttons that you see on top of here, so you can set them up any way you want. And there's a lot of customization, and I'm trying to get used to just customizing this camera so that I can, just like my Nikon D70-100, where I don't really think about the button functionality or the button placement because I've gotten so used to it. And that's just practicing over and over again. I'm doing the same thing with the EM10 Mark II, just trying to get used to the button placement, programming certain features that is easily accessible. And this might be one of the images that I post on my Instagram. According to this little screen right here, it looks pretty cool. Whoops. Yeah, as you can see, you have some touchscreen capability. Once again, the Lumix G7 blows it out of the water. The touchscreen on the Lumix G7 is really, really responsive. It has a swivel screen. It's just, the Lumix G7, not to take anything away from what I'm talking about with the Olympus EM10, this little guy right here, it's such a bargain. You have 4K video capability, a swivel screen, and you can utilize Olympus lenses as well as use adapters to put Nikon lenses. Now back to the Olympus EM10 Mark II. As I was talking about earlier, I can use adapters for my old school Nikon lenses. Here is one of them right here. Now I was able, hopefully this is coming in good. I really hope so. I have these adapters here, and that's a lot of noise. A few different adapters, and I tell you what, this one goes with it. Okay, so this one, you attach it back here, and this side goes into your Lumix G7 or your Micro Four Thirds camera. And with the image stabilization, this is a manually focused lens, so a manual focus lens. Even when I put it on my Nikon D7100, I have to use it. I have to focus manually. Let me tell you something. I was testing out the M10 Mark II with this lens at a very low shutter speed. Extremely low shutter speed that if I use it on my Nikon D7100, it would be ridiculously blurry. Of course, this lens is, very solid metal frame, so it adds some weight to the M10 Mark II. But the combination of the image, the in-body stabilization, it's just really, really satisfying to use. Really satisfying. As you saw in the video, I was able to walk and take a video, and it wasn't extremely wobbly. So imagine using an old school lens like this Nikon 105mm lens. It has a 2.5 f-stop all across. Well, not all across because it's a prime lens, but holy crap. I was taking some test shots, and they were extremely impressive. Now, I can tell here that this is not in focus, so I do apologize once again. But anyway, I just wanted to talk really briefly about this camera. As you can tell, every time I plant it down on my table, it's extremely solid. The build quality is extremely solid. It cost me, with the kit lens, $5.99. And even, well, I made some weird noise just now, so I apologize about that. Let me try to lock this lens here. So, I had a Sigma lens, and I took it back. I had the Sigma 17 to 55mm lens. It had a 2.8 aperture, and it was really sharp, really impressive, but extremely heavy. Now, this is a heavy lens. This is heavy, and the Sigma was heavier than this, and it got kind of annoying because I had it on my Nikon D7100, and it put so much weight, and I was walking around Central Park with it, and it was uncomfortable. Really uncomfortable. And as I stated, even though I use the G7, the Lumix G7 for video, it takes pretty good pictures, especially when I put the same 25mm lens that I have on here, the prime lens. But the body, the style of the body has a retro style. It has a lot of buttons that I can utilize and program them any way I want. And the solid build. Now, it's not water resistant. It doesn't have weather sealing, or it's not resistant to dust. So that's something I had to take into consideration. But overall, the package, the image quality, I'm going to add some images onto this video as well, and the capability of utilizing Panasonic lenses that I already own, and most importantly, the capability because this is a mirrorless camera, of adding adapters so that I can utilize my Nikon lenses. So I have two different manufacturers, and I have two different types of lenses that I can utilize with one of these cameras, one of these mirrorless, whether it's my G7 or my M10 Mark II. But anyway, this has been a long and exhausting video. I thank you for watching, as always,
And let me know if you have any of these mirrorless cameras, the Lumix G7 or the M10 Mark II. And let me know if you're going mirrorless from now on. I'm not going to get rid of my Nikon D7100. It's just, to me, an all-around amazing camera still. It's an amazing DSLR. It takes great pictures. It takes great photos, excuse me. Well, it helps me take great photos. Now, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but the Nikon D7100 is going to last me a very long time. I'm not going to get rid of my Nikon D7100. And quite frankly, I'm not going to get rid of my Lumix G7 or my Olympus M10 Mark II. The three just combine to give me a lot of versatility and flexibility as well. So that's that. Anyway, as always, I'm Jose Betancourt. I thank you. Let me bring back the star of this show right now, so that you're not looking at my Nikon lens, which is an amazing freaking lens. By the way, I have a leather strap, so I'm 100% hipster certified. That's a joke. I got this, I think it was $18, $19, all leather, really good quality. I got it on Amazon, and I just put my thumb on the lens. I hate that. And because of the weight and size of the M10 Mark II, this camera strap really comes in handy. Looks stylish as well. It's on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. But anyway, I'm Jose Betancourt, and I thank you for watching my videos. You guys take care. Talk to you soon.